triple with no time left. Florida State beats Duke 76-73. The little team that could just did.
I said, guys, we didn't come here for no reason.
Hey, my brother, put a smile on your face. Okay? Because Florida State, if we gonna do it then, we do it big. Let's go, baby.
Here's the snap, handoff on the belly dive, and Stevenson's going to try to root his way in. He breaks through, and he's got the 10, 5, 3, 2 yards, touchdown FSU. Yes, Ronnie Stevenson, senior playing his final game. I thought he was tackled to the line of scrimmage. Root hogging his way, and he broke into daylight, and he scores a touchdown.
If we don't get penalties, and we don't get fumbles, and we don't get interceptions, we can win the dead-gum ball game.
I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. And I said, we strong then.
What are you doing?
Down to the 50, down the sideline to the 40, down to the 30. He separates. He's to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Florida State.
Let's party, Tallahassee.
He's got PK Sam. Open. He makes the catch. Touchdown, Marshall. Touchdown, PK Sam. 55 seconds left. Sam takes a touchdown catch from Ricks. It's 52 yards. 52 yards. Florida State leads 37-34. I see you, PK Sam.
Welcome to Double Fries No Slaw. We've got a pop-up edition episode. It is December 1st. We're finally in Christmas month. We talked about some Christmas movies a couple nights ago, and that was fun. But we are popping up out of nowhere to come to you guys live on Tuesday night. We got some good news out of FSU World today. We'll get into that, as well as a really cool interview that we have planned for you guys. As always, TJ Pittenger, along with my buddies, Richie Barnes and Freddie Stevenson. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Doing well, man. It's been kind of a wild week so far. We finally got some cold weather, but I'm excited to be back on. I didn't know if we'll have an opportunity to get on with the game situation, but I'm glad to be back on this week.
Yeah, man, we went from thinking the season was canceled to now we have 2 more games. But I'm excited about our guests. And Freddie, like you mentioned, you live, maybe 50 miles down the road from me on I-4. I'm loving this weather. I live for this stuff, man.
Now I told you guys before we got on here, not to make it all about me, but here I go. I just ran outside. I won't tell you for how long or the time or anything, but it is so cold. Like my nose is still like, you can still see like, oh, I'm feel miserable right now, but I'm not loving the weather. You can bring back like 70s all day for me, but appreciate our relationship with Guthrie's. Guthrie's is certainly our main sponsor. Got a chance to chat with them today, and we've got some exciting stuff in the works. Remember their locations at 1818 West Tennessee and 2550 North Monroe. Also want to tell you that this episode is brought to you by the Lemieux Company. Want to shout them out, and they don't even know that we're doing this, but they are bringing you this episode. We had signed up with them and had some things in the works with them for the extra sauce segment. They're going to be cut one short of that. It sounds like we're going to get 2 football games back and lose 1. So only a net loss of 1. So we figured we'd give them this episode. This episode should do really, really good numbers. And so visit Lemieux.company. We tag them in everything and you'll see it. tomorrow in the tweet with this show. But Wilson, the guys do a great job. If you kind of need any audio visual type work, any graphic design or multimedia type stuff, they are awesome. We'll play, Harlan, if you can get it queued up, we'll play a quick clip at the end of tonight's episode that you can kind of check out some of their work. So that'll be a little later on, but you guys will enjoy that after our interview. We'll play that. We've got a really exciting interview to get into, and we'll jump right into it. We have the CEO of Seminole Boosters on the line, Mr. Michael Alford. Michael, thank you so much for taking time to hang out with us tonight. How are you, man?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. We were just chatting with these guys. We got some good news out of the Florida State world today that we got a couple of games rescheduled. Two of us were on our way up to Tallahassee this weekend, and the other two were already in Tallahassee, and so we were all pretty heartbroken this weekend.
Right.
I don't know if we're brave enough. We all live pretty far. I don't know if we're brave enough to do the 4 and 5 hour trips again, but knocking on wood that we get these games played coming up. But there's been a really good response, at least on social media. I don't know what you guys have seen there in the offices, but there's been a really good response on social media the last few days of support for the boosters. I know a lot of people have been tagging us when they've been signing up. I know they've been tagging other podcasts, and other podcasts have talked about it. I know a lot of people are kind of jumping on that bandwagon, and we want to continue that momentum. So let's start there. Can you kind of explain right off the bat the importance of folks signing up to be a booster at whatever level, and what kind of comes from that, both for the school side and, what they get for signing up?
I can tell you, there has been a groundswell for support, and people such as yourself, Freddie, going on Twitter, and it really means a lot to us because this is the first year really here at Florida State that we've had a campaign to raise our annual fund membership. It wasn't too long ago. We were over 13,000 members strong, easy about 3.5, 4 years ago. And we're down to about 9,000 members right now, which is a major drop. And that just goes when you see who we're competing against, our peers in the country, and what their annual membership is, it really makes a difference because that is truly the lifeblood of what we're able to do with the athletic department and the support we're able to give the student athletes. And everyone sees, facilities, and we'll talk facilities, but where that annual fund goes, it supports the scholarships of over 500 student athletes. We put some emphasis this year on sports medicine. When I came in, saw some needs in sports medicine compared to our peers. And the biggest need I saw was the nutrition area. What we're able to provide nutritionally to what some of our peers are doing for our student athletes is a difference. And we got to shorten that gap a little bit. And we do that just by increasing our members down to the lowest level of $70 a year to our booster club. It goes a long way for us to be able to support our student athletes, to do it in a first-class manner. And at the end of the day, it's about providing educational opportunities and leadership opportunities to them. So when they graduate, they look back and say, and you'll hear me say it 100 million times, this was the best 4 or 5 years of my life. And we're here to shape them so they can be successful when they go about after graduation and leave here with a meaningful degree from Florida State, that they're successful in business or any job that they choose because we put in the right core values, and we're able to do that due to the booster membership.
Michael, as a Florida State, I was there from 2006 to 2010. I was always a student booster, and I think it was $25 or $30 a year at that point. And now you have the Iron Arrow, which is $70 a year. But I think what a lot of people don't realize, you can do that in monthly installments at $5 a month.
Yes.
And a lot of people think to themselves, as I did early on after graduating, is what is my, $70 a year going to do? It's not going to make a difference. But people fail to realize, Clemson built the foundation of their booster program on Ipate. I paid $10 a year, getting all their fans to pay $10 a year. And those $70 a year fans or $5 a month fans, that really is the lifeblood because that builds a strong foundation. And when those people become more successful in life, they can give more money and we all see the growth. So what do you say to those who say, man, at $5 a month, that doesn't do anything for Florida State. Why would I even bother?
Well, I can tell you it makes a big difference. It helps us. This campaign is elevating our unrestricted giving while we increase our overall membership. And we're doing it and we'll reach out and personally thank everyone and really tell our story of what benefit this is going to every student athlete that comes through Florida State. We graduate at an 82% rate here as student athletes. Regular student body's at 72. Our athletes go on to be doctors, Rhodes Scholars, business leaders. Every advantage or every little benefit we can give them to provide leadership opportunities to help grow them while they're here, they go on to be successful. And that's really what the annual fund does. It allows us to provide these student athletes those opportunities on an annual basis and really help them grow and nurture them during their collegiate career.
Yeah, and I just want to expand on that a little bit because obviously we love Freddie on this podcast. He's one of our
Freddie does a great job. He was one mean
Yeah.
fullback.
He's phenomenal, and he's someone who benefited from this. So I want this is really for you, Michael and Freddie. Freddie was able to come to a top 20 academic university in the country, earn a degree while also winning a national title and beating Florida 4 years in a row, beating Miami 4 years in a row. And that's not possible without these donations. And people may get upset with the head coach because they think he made a wrong call in a game or something. But when people pull their money back, they realize that they're not just hurting the coaching and administration, who will be fine regardless. They're hurting our student athletes. Can you just talk on that for a second?
Yeah, it does. Financially, we're not able to support some of the professional development programs during these tried times. We've had to cut some things back, the strength and conditioning program. I mean, being a student athlete myself, seeing the effect it had on me when I was able to graduate. My wife was a volleyball player at University of Hawaii. She had it tough going there, I know. But University of Hawaii, and we both look back and see the effect and the people that made a difference when we were in school. And it kind of shaped our philosophies. The same with Freddie, playing for the coaches he played with, being around the people around this program that really shapes your philosophy for life and puts you on the path to when you graduate to go on and be successful. And we couldn't do that without the booster support and able to provide these programs to them on a daily basis. And bringing in, I bring in Fortune 500 CEOs to talk to them about how they're going, what's going to happen to them and what they can expect when they get out of school. Bring in New York Times leadership book bestsellers, authors to come in and talk about leadership and prepare these students for when they graduate to have these leadership roles. Because we teach so many different things on the field, right? You learn life on the field, but also off the field, we need to be doing our part in providing these opportunities for growth there as well. And that's what the booster membership and the unrestricted dollars that we provide is able to afford us to do.
I was talking to you a bit earlier. I remember you following me and I reached out to you, and I remember telling you how it was my first time making a contribution to the boosters. For years, as a former player, a lot of us feel like since we played on the field, we don't really have to do that. That's just the thought process for a lot of players. And we think that everything's going to be taken care of, everything will be all right. And then this was the first time it hit me. I was like, man, they really need our help. Like it's important for us to make a contribution just like it's important for everybody else. So today I took that step and I made that contribution, and I went out to teammates and I was trying to get those guys on board, and they were thinking the same thing. Like, why do I have to do that?
Right.
Some of them were coming back at me. They're like, how do I know the money's going to the football program? They started buying in after I was talking to them, but they had questions. How do I know the money's going to the football program? So for guys like that have questions, what answers do you have for guys that are still on the fence? They want to help, but they want to make sure that their contributions are being used for the program.
Well, I can promise you, Freddie, they're being used in the right way. I got my lights go out really easy here, and got to wave my arms. They're being used in the right way, and they're going to support the student athletes, the football players. We have special funds that go to just their educational development. We have special funds that go to the basketball team. So if you can let us know where you want it to go, we'll get you in the coaches club. We'll get you into the general unrestricted fund, and it's being used to make a difference. That is one thing I will sit here and tell you, because once again, I go back, Freddie, it means a lot. When you see such as yourself, when I walked across my stage and graduated, I knew I couldn't have done it without the support. And one thing I've always done everywhere I've been, whether it's at Oklahoma or Alabama or Southern Cal, is I've gone and hired athletes during the summer to come work in our offices. And it makes, I can't tell you, it's almost fun for me. It is fun for me because they come and they have no idea what all goes on. I didn't when I played, Freddie. You had no idea about all the support for your academics and books and your tutoring and everything that was done, where that came from, and the hard work that. And I tell my staff all the time, the pitch is someone like Freddie Stevens and someone like myself. You go and you tell these student athlete stories, people will partner with you. You go tell the stories of the 500 plus athletes, and so many of them were first opportunity, like myself, first opportunity to go to school. So many kids I talked to, luckily my parents had a college degree, but a lot of kids that come through here, it's their first person, their family, to go to college. And the opportunities you can provide them is life-changing in the educational side. And that's something that we really go out and just tell the athlete stories. And people are partner. It's more than just a building, more than giving the boosters. You're really providing resources to these students to make a difference in their lives for when they graduate.
I know we were texting back and forth earlier, and you were telling me about some of the plans you have for the facilities, the football facilities, and
I got a few things up my sleeve.
yeah. Did you want to further expand on that or a little bit for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a look at it. You know, if you know my background is building facilities, whether it's NFL stadiums or what we were able to accomplish at Oklahoma, what I just did at Central Michigan. Coach McElwain, who I hired there, the ex-Gator, of course, Boo, but he and I were together at Alabama, so knew him well. And it was funny. He just moved into a new facility, and the day he moved in, he called me and goes, "Michael, this is better than what I had at my previous stop." What they were able to move into. So we're taking a look. I've hired an architectural firm to come in that I've worked with previously to give me a well-rounded look. I've sat down with Coach. I know what his needs, and he and I are on the same page on what we need to provide better opportunities for our program. And that's something we're evaluating. I plan on presenting something to AD Coburn and President Thrasher and the FSUAA here in the upcoming months to not only say here's the building that we want to look, but I also like to, everything I do has to have revenue opportunities tied to it, because I think that's very important. And even looking at Doak Campbell, how we change the fan experience and make that a better one, because 70% of our fans come from over 150 miles away on a Saturday. So they need to come and have an experience that's the best in the country. And we have those opportunities. Most stadiums have about 8 to 10 different experiences. We're right now about 2 to 3. So that's everything from how you're greeted in the parking lot to concession stands. So we're doing a well-rounded look of that. And I'm planning on putting together a performance statement that not only addresses our needs, but financially puts out a plan to address what we need to get accomplished. And I feel very confident in that.
Michael, obviously this is a very difficult time for our country. You know, we take college football for granted, and we have it right now, and we're so blessed, man. And even it's not the season we wanted, but I'd rather watch Florida State than not. But for the fans that, you know, I live in Orlando, Florida, and we're very hospitality driven, you know, theme parks, the resorts, everything, the entertainment that the tourism provides. A lot of my close friends and family have either been furloughed or lost their jobs. And in some cases, I know, you know, couples, husbands and wives that have both lost their jobs during this pandemic, but they love Florida State and they want to support them. And, you know, we discussed the $5 a month is a great option, but even that is a stretch for those people. So for those who cannot financially support boosters right now, and hopefully will in the future, what's the best way they can support the boosters right now and help grow your vision and just help spread the word, I guess?
Just invite friends to be a part of it. Be familiar with what we're trying to get accomplished. Help us by when you're in the communities that you're living, talking about what we're getting accomplished here. Talk about the love that you have for this organization, this university, and this department. And maybe it's not your time right now that you can give, but others, and make sure you have the information and be great ambassadors, which I can tell you the enthusiasm I've run across since I've been here for 2.5 months is second to none of any place I've been elsewhere. The passion that people have for this institution, and that's really what drove me here. When I came down and met with the people involved about me leaving the institution I was at and coming here, is the thing that really stood out to me were the people. I couldn't, the great leadership we have with President Thrasher and AD Colburn, Chairman Byrd, Chairman Davis, just the leadership really stood out of how passionate and everyone I talked to and how excited they were about doing some things different. And that's something that excites me. And we're really looking forward to being here a long time. But just going out in the community and just, I want to say preach the gospel, but let people know that changes are coming. Coach Norvell is really establishing core values that I think really identifies with teams of the past and philosophies that Coach Bowden had. And just looking at what he's doing and what he's establishing in that football program, it all starts with core values. And we're really excited to see what he's doing right now as well.
We talked about the $70 contribution level. You can do that at $5 a month. You don't have to go through every level or anything, but if you can give a couple of kind of reasonable levels that everybody can kind of support, and then the best way that people can get in contact with you guys. I know it's just SeminoleBooster.com, but the best way that people can get in contact and sign up and join the club and be part of everything that's going on.
Well, yeah, it's everything from $70. We have so many different amounts you can do that gives you different benefits, from car flags, discounted on merchandise. But there's a level for everyone. It starts at $70. The next level is $140. The next level is $330. And each level has benefits, has different points that come from priority parking to priority tickets. But we have a level to get involved at anyone. There's some people, to be honest with you, TJ, who have called and said, hey, we can't give right now, but can we volunteer our time? Can we come in and work at and we got people doing that because their passion is here and they want to help us whatever they can. So there's something out there to help us when we come to a community, whether we're in Miami or in Orlando or in Tampa, when we bring our traveling road show. People, I love talking to people who just want to come out and just help us any way they can and are looking for ways. And that is really welcomed. I can't tell you how many people have done that as well.
Yeah. And that's so big to me because like Richie said, there's some people that just financially can't give. I mean, you guys make it about as affordable as it could be at $5 a month, but some people that just financially cannot give and, are still out there, like you said, spreading the good word or donating their time or just whatever. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. FSU is about to beat Florida in women's basketball over here.
Oh,
up by 5 with
up 5 with 45 seconds left. I got it right here.
We're all watching it. Corner of our eye, beat them Gators. But
hey, how about Coach Sue, real quick? I hate to interrupt, but man, I've been a huge fan of Coach Sue ever since I was a student in 2006.
Yeah, I can tell you when I accepted this job, she was one of the first people to reach out to me, and her and I have developed, and we still haven't met in person. We just talk on the phone and text all the time, and she's got great ideas about where she wants this program. I got a chance to go sit down with Brooke. Can't wait to talk to her tonight after her first victory, especially over Florida. And she's doing a great job and is going to be a great leader one day in her own right of a program. But just watching, I got to watch practice. And one thing in my background is evaluating coaches and hiring coaches. I can tell you she's going to be a great one day. You watch how disciplined and organizationally she is with the program, and to watch her conduct a practice, it is spot on. So I was really impressed when I came away watching her practice one day.
So they're up 4 with 10 seconds left now, and she is super intense. Like
Coaching
you're
them
watching
up.
you're watching her on the sideline, and you want it so bad for her, to get that first win against. Obviously, you'd rather beat them than anybody, but
That's right.
Double Fries No Slaw is the name of the podcast. In your time in Tallahassee yet, have you made it by Guthrie's just yet? Have you had a gut box?
I have. My daughter's a big fan. There's it is surpassed because you don't have it's a competitor, but it's not here, so I could probably say it right.
Sure.
There's no Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Raising Cane's?
Yeah. So folks that don't have a Guthrie's in their area, we tell them that Raising Cane's and Zaxby's were both born out of Guthrie's. So they both came essentially from Guthrie's was the OG, and people left there to start those other ones. So, but yeah, no, I'm glad that you've had it. Make sure the next time you go, don't get that coleslaw.
All right, I won't. I'll go double fries.
Double fries every time. Man, Richie, Freddie, you guys have any closing thoughts, Mr. Alford? We appreciate your time so much, but you guys have
thank you guys.
I just appreciate you coming on. I know a lot of guys, like I said, they really don't understand, like you were talking about, what all goes on behind the scenes and everything from the books to the support, what all comes from the boosters. And that support goes a long way. And with where our program is today, we're talking about rebuilding and getting back to that elite level. For guys to make the decision that they're not going to contribute is crazy. How are we going to make that rebuild if you're not contributing? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, we've got a goal this year of getting back up to 13,000 members, and it's really a campaign that we're pushing, the One Tribe campaign. Like I said, it's the first time we've ever not included tickets in it. You'll get ticket information later. They've always been tied, but we'll really want to get out and educate our constituents and our fans and our alumni that this is a difference. It doesn't have to be tied to tickets. You can live in Orlando, you can live elsewhere, knowing that, hey, I don't need season tickets, but I still want to contribute. And it's really getting out and spreading the message where this goes. The funding of scholarships is almost $12 million a year that the boosters funds the scholarship. Sports medicine is about $3.5 million. I mean, I've invested almost $1 million in nutrition, $380,000 in professional development. I mean, these are dollars that goes a long way in supporting the athletic department, but more importantly, supporting the student athletes. And this is where those dollars are going. And it is truly the heartbeat of the athletic department is our annual fund.
And I want to follow up on that just a second. You said, remind folks of the numbers. I know you said them at the beginning again, but if anybody's just kind of tuning in now to watch it, you said your goal is to get back up to 13,000. Where are we at right now?
Oh, well, we just started the campaign, but I can tell you right now, we're pacing ahead of where we were last year in number wise. And so right now we're on pace because of efforts such as yourselves, people getting out, spreading the word. I mean, we dropped about 4,500 members and over the last 4 years. And it's really an educational process. So I really appreciate you guys having me on just to educate people of the investment of where this is going. It is going to fund the student athletes and their success that they have here at Florida State. Awesome.
Well, Michael Alford, CEO.
One thing real quick. I have one last question / comment. Man, you kind of touched on your resume a little bit. I'm a huge fan. Obviously, you worked at Alabama, Oklahoma, USC, the Dallas Cowboys. You were an integral part in getting Jerry World built. So I'm not going to ask the question because I know it's tough for you to answer, but I do know President Thrasher, AD Coburn, that they're both transitioning out right now. And you have my vote to be our next athletic director because clearly you know what you're doing. You have a vision. I know a lot of Florida State fans feel the same way. When I found out you were taking over to be the CEO of the Boosters to replace Andy Miller, who did a phenomenal job building it from the ground up.
He did.
And you just, you bringing in a fresh set of eyes to come in and bring it. Like I said, I think you would make an outstanding athletic director for Florida State. I'm not going to ask you if that's in your aspirations because I know in your position, you're focused right now on, we got to raise money. We're in a very tough bind. So to everybody listening, and I'm going to steal a line from Ingram Smith of the Nolecast. If you take the time to listen to this podcast and other Florida State podcasts, if you're paying money for recruiting websites, you can afford $5 a month for Seminole boosters.
Right.
And every $5 adds up. Again, Clemson built their booster foundation on $10 a year from Ipate. And if Florida State fans, if we all come together as a whole and everybody signs up $70 more if you can, I mean, it'll go a long way. And I'm excited about the future of the program. We are in, we're a football university, so we think we're in a bad time right now. But man, we got a basketball team that I think can make a run at the Final Four that I think could have won a national title last year. We have great teams across the board in Florida State, and those dollars are only going to help Florida State and every other program at the same time.
And that's a great point that I always bring out. It helps all of our programs. We have some of the best coaches in the country. I mean, we finished second in overall winning percentage across the country amongst our programs last year. And this goes to help over 550 of our student athletes. And I do want to touch base. I got this question the other day when I was publicly speaking about the alignment. And I can tell you, I've never worked at a place where President Thrasher, AD Coburn, and I are on the phone 5-10 times a day. Chairman Burr. I mean, the alignment and the communication of the leadership that I'm fortunate to work with right now is second to none. Everybody understands the direction. Everyone has the same vision. And it's our job to provide the coaching staff the opportunities to grow their programs. And that's where this annual fund goes.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate, again, so much your time. Appreciate hanging out. Hopefully have you on again soon to get an update. I want to get you back on once we're getting close to the goal, and then once we surpass it. So that's my that's what I want to do, and then we'll celebrate with you. We'll all order Guthrie's.
I would love that. And I really appreciate you all having me on. Anytime, feel free to reach out to me. One thing that I'm working with our board and really working with all of our boosters about is being as transparent as possible. We're going to tell what's going on, and here's where we are, and here's how we're going to address it and get better. So I really appreciate you all having me on. If I can be of any assistance, let me know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
We'll see you up in Tallahassee soon. And man, you have a great night. The women won, so that went fine.
There we go.
So go Noles. That's right. Go Noles.
We got the chop. I love it.
Go Noles. Thank you all.
Thank you, man. Michael Alford of Seminole Boosters, the CEO. And we didn't just get not that I don't want to say anything. We didn't just get anybody. we got the CEO.
There's a reason TJ stopped himself.
Yeah,
right
just I gotta shut up sometimes. But great. And like I said, Richie hit the nail right on the head. If you're paying for our Patreon at $5, $10, $20, $50 about whatever, if you're paying for recruiting websites, if you care enough about FSU to download and listen to two bums and a fullback talk about football, if you like FSU that much, you like FSU enough to give $70 a year and really help the program. We average, not to just put everything crazy out there, but we average between 5,000 and 10,000 listens an episode, listens/views. Literally, if everybody that was listening to this signed up as a booster, they would hit the goal immediately, right? Or they would get back what they lost, right? They said they lost 4,500. So that's just an average. There are episodes like the Herb Street episode and stuff that kind of blow up and go wild. So, like I said, if you care enough to listen to Ingram and them, or the On the Bench guy, I'll shout them all out. The Listen Up podcast. If you listen to War Chant, if you listen to any of us, if you listen to them, you care about FSU. I listen to a Barcelona podcast. I give to their Patreon, right? Like I like them. So if you have something that you care about and you like it, now if you're just a casual fan that just kind of happens to happen upon us and you're a Miami, Florida fan, I know you guys hate listen to, you don't have to go sign up. If you want to, you can, or you just sign up for our Patreon and you don't have to give to FSU. But if you like it enough to, again, pay for recruiting info, to listen to these podcasts, to be in tune and all these Facebook groups and everything like that, you can contribute and give to it. And that's my soapbox. So go ahead and get that done. Thoughts on that interview, guys? I know we've got some other stuff we want to get into, and then we'll get out of here. But thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it was important because a lot of guys just really don't understand what all goes into it, and that's why a lot of people are hesitant. And I appreciate him being open about it, transparent, and it really, a lot of people, they'll have a lot of closure about everything, and they shouldn't be hesitant. Now, I know that was, he answered every question that people were asking me, so I appreciate him taking the time to come on.
Yeah, and I think there's a negative connotation that if your name is not on a building or on a brick outside the stadium, like people think those are the boosters. No, the boosters are anyone who gives money. And I mentioned it several times, so I'll mention it again. Clemson has one of the most successful booster programs in the country, and it all started with IPTE, which stands for I Pay 10 a year. Their goal was to get every Clemson fan in the world to pay $10 a year, and that's how they built having the mass amount of funds they currently have. And for Florida State, if you can give $5 a month, that's one less, lunch out instead of, taking lunch from home. Like it's not hard to do. And just so we're all clear, the boosters, Michael, no one paid us any money for this episode. We are all just diehard Florida State fans. Our producer Harlan signed up this morning to be a booster for the first time because he felt the importance of it. Freddie talked about it. He's a former player, and there's that thought that former players don't have to pay. Well, Freddie's now a booster as well, paying for it. I've been a booster since I graduated. I'm sure TJ is, and it's not about, oh, I don't like this coach or I don't like the president or athletic director. No, it's I love the program, so I'm going to invest whatever I can, whether it's $5 a month or $1,000 a month. And if you listen to this interview, Michael Alford, look up his resume, guys. USC, Oklahoma, Dallas Cowboys, Alabama. This guy is legit. He knows what to do with the money. He just needs money to spend, and he will spend it in the right way. I promise you. Read his resume if you have a chance, because we could do an hour on his fundraising abilities and everything he's built everywhere he's been. We have the right guy in charge right now. Go make that donation.
Yeah, and if you're signing up now, you're a better person than I was, because I signed up and I'll tell you, like I'm being serious. If you're signing up right now, it's because you notice that there's a problem and it needs to be fixed, right? We've lost a lot of boosters over time. We're losing money because of the pandemic, and you're recognizing the problem and you're fixing it. I signed up because I was high off of the national championship, right? Like I signed up in 2014. And so, man, it was easy to give $60, but it used to be 60. It's 79.
Yeah.
It was easy to give $60 back then. I didn't have a lot of money. We lived in a small townhome. I had a beat up old Taurus, but I found a way to give $60 a year and did it. But it was a dinner out. It's $70 is a dinner out, right? Like you can't even go to Outback for that now. That's like 3 gut boxes or something, like, come on. So, but it was easy to sign up in 2014. If you do it now, you're a better person than I am, because I did it when it was easy. And so if you do it now, it really does show that you care and want the program to kind of get back to where we all know that it should be. And Richie's right. No, Michael Alford, Seminole Boosters didn't pay us any money. Nobody paid us for this episode. If you'd like to pay us for this episode, just hit my DMs. We certainly won't say no. Sign up for your booster contribution first and then come back to pay us. But nobody asked us to reach out. We got tagged in a tweet today. Shout out to my guy, Kyle Kashuk, I think is how you say it. Tagged us in some other podcasts and organizations that had really been pushing for the boosters. And we thought it only right to reach out and get a representative on to kind of go more in depth on that. So sign up, SeminoleBoosters.com. You can also call them. I don't have the number right on the phone, right on the tip of my finger, but you should not write it down while you're driving anyway. So SeminoleBoosters.com. You can sign up. You can find the phone number there. You have a dedicated account representative. I've always had one. I kind of text him when I have questions and stuff like that before games, asking about different stuff. And so that's kind of cool. We're on a personal relation. We have a personal relationship, and we're able to kind of text back and forth when I have questions and want updates and stuff like that. So moving on from that, we've got a little bit of news. Florida State rescheduled a couple of games today. I don't know if Florida State actually rescheduled these or if the ACC rescheduled them, but a little bit of news. Florida State is, or knock on wood, will be playing Duke on December 12th, and then we'll be playing Wake Forest on the road on December 19th. So I like that. I'm glad that our season's not over. I'm also thankful that we don't have to play Clemson, even though the reason that we don't have to play Clemson is because Dabo is a whiny crybaby clown. And so essentially what happened is Clemson said, we're not going back to Tallahassee to play. We don't want to play a game on the 12th. His cop-out was we prepared for 11 games. We shouldn't have to prepare for a 12th game, which, okay, whatever. And so Notre Dame had a game canceled, and that game was moved to the 12th. But the ACC, and bowing down to Clemson, because they've always favored the Carolina teams over us, went ahead and canceled Notre Dame's game and said that Clemson didn't have to play either. So couldn't be us, could never be us that the ACC would do favors for. But crybaby Wuhan Dabo got his way here, and I hope Brian Kelly and them beat the crap out of him when they play.
We will all be Notre Dame fans.
Oh yeah,
day.
I mean, it's gonna be tough if. Well, no, I'll cheer for anybody in the playoff except for Florida over Clemson. So, I'll be the
Florida ain't getting in.
I'll be the biggest Roll Tide fan that there ever was. I'll be the biggest Ohio. It doesn't matter, man. Like whoever plays Clemson, just get them out of here. But you guys excited that we have a couple games coming up? Nothing this weekend, but then two more the 2 weekends after that.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed. I hope that we get to see these games in action, man. Like the last 2 weeks have been crazy. At this point, it's like we were talking about it before we came on the air. Like we have a small margin for error. Like if something goes wrong, the season's over.
Yeah, man. And, I was thinking about this when they announced that. I told my wife when she got home, like, Florida State just got 2 games added. And she's like, you told me the season was over last night. I'm like, well, it was, but now we have 2 games. And I just, immediately went to thinking, even the bad games this year, the morning and the time leading up to them, even if I knew we were going to lose, I'm excited to see Florida State football play. And I feel like even if we were a 0-12 team and we have no chance against nobody, I'm still excited to wake up on a game day and say, all right, Florida State play. Hey, something might happen positive. And we joked about this for North Carolina, where we said, hey, we might pull it off. At least we have a chance. We have something to look forward to. And we did. If there's no game, there's no chance for that excitement to watch the game and pull it off. I think Wake is a tough challenge, man. That offense is better than most people realize, but I think Duke is a team we can beat. And even if we go 0-2, at least I get to wake up 2 more Saturdays this year, because we take it for granted, right? In a normal season, we're guaranteed 12 Saturdays a year out of 56. I'll take it, man. Even if we're going to lose the game, like I'm just excited to have that hope that Florida State might do well, knowing a couple of years down the line, we're going to wake up knowing we're going to beat the hell out of whoever we're playing, because college football is cyclical and we will get back there. It may seem like we're a long ways away, but we're not that far. I'll go back to 2010. Florida was coming off a dynastic run with the Urban Meyer. They had beat Florida State 5 or 6 years in a row. They're coming into Tallahassee in Jimbo's first year, and Florida State just blows the doors off them. And no one saw that coming. College football changes that quickly. I'm not saying it'll change next year, but it's not a 10-year rebuild like some fans are saying. This could change in 2 to 3 years, and having games on Saturdays at least gives me that hope. So that's the way I'm at least approaching it for right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Duke game. I'm glad that we have 2 weeks to prepare for Duke and get ready for them. I think that's going to be super beneficial and helpful. I think that's a winnable game. I picked us to beat Virginia. So yeah, I'll probably predict us to beat Duke when the time comes for that one. And then Wake will definitely be tough. But I don't think that's an automatic loss like some of the other ones that we have gotten out, or like the Clemson game would have been, let's just be honest. So excited to have those games back. I think it'll be a lot of fun, man. They haven't announced the time for either one of them. I mean, Duke's 2-7, right? We're 2-6, but they're 2-7, and they're not like world beaters by any means.
No.
They just gave up 56 points to Georgia Tech this weekend. Their 2 wins are Syracuse, who is the worst team in the ACC, and Charlotte. Duke is not a good team either, by any means. So that's a very winnable game. Wake Forest will absolutely be tougher. Wake's 4-3, and we'll talk more about those games as we get a little bit closer. I was going to say that Duke game is on the 12th, and Florida plays Florida State that day as well in Tallahassee. And I really want to find a way to get up there for that. I don't know that I can, but
it's weird though, right? Because Father's Day is usually in June, but I guess it's in December this year when Mike White comes to pay Leonard Hamilton a visit.
Bro, you're getting wild. People are going to revisit these takes. You better hope we win that, because we're on the streak right now. I know we're way better than them, but like every streak has to be broken. So
it's true. But I'm going to take these shots while I can. If these last few years of Florida State football have taught me anything, it's take the shots while you can.
I'm going to troll women's basketball, bro. That's all I got right now. So, but got a couple games scheduled back. The game time for Liberty Coastal Carolina did get announced. It's 2:00 on Saturday. I know you guys were really excited about that and wanted to hear about that as well. Do you guys have anything else before we go? I know we had a couple of news and notes, and we can just mention them because I don't really care to go in depth about them. But do you want to talk about Webb and Altmeier real quick and then go? We talked about the schedule.
Yeah, real quick. Luke Altmeier, obviously a 4-star quarterback out of Mississippi State, or out of Mississippi, Florida State's highest ranked recruit. He decommitted. He's probably going to sign with Ole Miss. It's a kick to the gut. It's not surprising to anyone who's followed recruiting, but it hurts you, man. You lose your quarterback. Now you risk losing other players who were in the class because you had a bell cow quarterback committed. Recruiting's not going very well. We're not going to sugarcoat it here. Losing Altmeier is a big deal. And, we're looking at the grad transfer market. What were you guys' thoughts? I don't know how closely you follow recruiting, but for me, that it was a big shot, but it was not surprising.
Yeah, I saw that coming all year, so it wasn't really surprising. But I was I tricking myself into believing that for some reason he would stay. But I wasn't shocked when it happened.
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected it to happen eventually and would have been pretty excited if it didn't. But, it just kind of is what it is. 3rd year in a row that Florida State has lost their top ranked recruited quarterback. Not ideal. But I have made a very solid commitment to myself to never get upset about recruiting ever, because I don't, I have too many other things in my life to get upset about. So where a kid goes to college in late November, early December, who is 17 years old, I just have so many more things to be upset about. Probably the way we play against Duke ranks ahead of that. So,
and 20-year-old Richie, who's sitting in his apartment on Florida State's campus. Thank God we didn't have Twitter, because I'd probably be tweeting at the kid like, "What the F, man? You biggest mistake of your life," all this stuff. Guys, don't do that, please. Like, don't tweet at high school recruits. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't do it. It's the bad luck. But in my opinion, the worst news of the day was LaDamian Webb opting out. And it sounds like he's gone. Like, if you read his Twitter comment, he thanked Coach Norvell in Florida State. There's a lot of rumors, his hometown is 8 miles from Auburn, that he's going to go play for Auburn next year. And best of luck to him if he does. But man, he was one of the few bright spots on this team. My favorite running back, probably my favorite offensive player that stayed healthy all year on the team, and he's gone. And that sucks. What do you guys think about Webb probably not being part of the program anymore?
Yeah, I was hoping that the situation was him opting out just because we weren't playing any games. But then when I saw the note, it doesn't look like he's coming back. And we had questions about his standing with the coaching staff over the past few weeks when we saw him lose some snaps to your guy Corbin. We thought Webb was the guy. We thought he would be the lead back the rest of the year, and then he lost some touches. So I don't know if that plays a role or not, but that's a huge loss for this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a position that you don't want to lose talent. Not that we want to lose talent anywhere, but yeah, it's upsetting, and I don't. I mean, I have a lot of hope that he'll be back, but maybe something can happen to where he does come back. I don't know, but at the end of the day, you've got to play with what you've got, and we'll see kind of how these next two games go, and then what things look like next year. Those are the kind of news and notes, because we talked about the schedule. I didn't want to wait until Sunday. Those things would kind of be irrelevant at that point. Florida State Hoops kicks off tomorrow night. Super excited for that.
Get you some UNF.
Yeah, I am. I mean, just totally beat the heck out of them.
What time is the game tomorrow?
8 o'clock ACC Network, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so I just got confirmation from our guests for tomorrow.
Go ahead and tease them out, man. People.
Oh no, don't say.
I'm not gonna say who it is.
Richie,
but I will
Richie's got
say
too much of that bachelorette wine. He's gonna get loose.
I will say you guys definitely want to tune into this one. It probably won't be a long interview because all of us want to get out to watch that game, but definitely has some things to say. And he's a guy that's respected not only at the collegiate level but the pro level as well. And he was excited when I reached out to him and said he definitely wants to come on and talk.
It's not Jameis, for everybody wondering, because that would be a long interview.
It's not Jameis, it's not Dalvin, but it's a guy who spent many years in the NFL. And
also not Fred Biletnikoff. So all right. So hoops tomorrow night. We're super excited. We're gonna have another pop-up show tomorrow night as well. Did you guys have anything else before we get to some shout outs?
Not before shout outs. I do have one shout out for Giving Tuesday, and but nothing else before that.
All right, I got a couple shout outs before. Freddie, did you have anything before shout outs?
No, I'm good.
Two shout outs for me. One, the Big Three Roll Up is doing their toy drive. They are doing their clothes to kids drive this Saturday in Orlando. If you have any clothes that are not incredibly worn, they're kind of lightly or gently used, that you either don't fit or don't wear anymore, and would like to give them to clothes to kids. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, if you shoot me a message, I'm actually going on Saturday, and I can just also meet up with you and get it to close to kids. If you're in Orlando and you can come by on Saturday, we'll be there all day taking in donations. You can also go to big3rollup.com. On the front page, there's a place to donate to kids, to clothes to kids. We gave them $5,200 last year, as well as donated a ton of clothing, and it helps school-age children that really just don't have very much and are struggling through this pandemic. It's getting cold here in Florida right now, so if you can help us out there, we would certainly appreciate it. Again, big3rollup.com. On the front page, there is a link to donate to clothes to kids under the store products section. Second shout out of the night. Shout out to Harlan Harris, our producer. This was kind of a last second notice show. We didn't give a lot of notice and say that we were going to be doing this, and he was more than willing and able to jump on, and always is. Outside of really the night that he got engaged, he's never told us that he couldn't do an episode.
That's still inexcusable. I question his dedication to the podcast.
Yeah, outside of that night, he has always been here for us. He has always jumped on when we needed him. I don't know what that says about his social life, but I do appreciate the podcast. Thanks so much, Harlan, for always being available.
Yeah, for sure, though. For real.
Jumping on, at the last second's notice. So hopefully you're around tomorrow night too, because we're going to do it again tomorrow. Freddie, Richie, what shout outs you guys have?
Yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
All right, real quick. I have my buddy Shane Foster, man. I met him at Florida State. He's a huge Florida State basketball fan, so I'll be texting him tomorrow. But he recently got involved with a nonprofit. They're called X Books. And I told him to send me a text of what to read, because it's Giving Tuesday. This is important to him, and therefore it's important to me. Well, he said X Books is a nonprofit dedicated to sending books to those that are currently incarcerated in Georgia, and other organizations native to the Georgia doing this kind of work. So far in 2020, they've collected 5,000 plus books and are raising money so they can start sending books to others in January. Essentially, man, he just wants to get books and those to those who are incarcerated throughout the world. Really, that's his big term goal, and I think it's an amazing mission for him. And I'll share on my personal Twitter the link for the GoFundMe for their nonprofit. But I'm proud of you, Shane. I think that's amazing work, and you have my full support. He was asking for a couple of Freddie's books, and I know Freddie did the deal with Amazon. And it's a little funky how it works.
We got to work that now, so we can.
So
get that done.
All right, so there you heard it there, Shane. I think he might be listening right now. So we can at least send a few books to prisoners in the Georgia. He lives in Atlanta in that area, and it's a big deal because, man, these guys, they don't have access to stuff like that, and he's very passionate, and I hear his stories and his testimonials, and I think it's a big deal. So I want to support it the best I can. Again, it's Xbooks, Instagram, Twitter. Give it a follow if you guys can.
Without doubt. And I just want to I agree with TJ, man. Harlan, shout out Harlan, man. I know Harlan probably think I'm a boy, and I forgot I ain't been on the PlayStation, man. I gotta accept your request, man. Like, damn, I sent him a request, he didn't accept it. But yeah, I appreciate Harlan, man. Harlan always on.
Harlan probably got the PS5 by now, so you're out of luck.
Yeah,
I think I saw it the other day.
Is that mine, right or no?
Oh, he does have I was joking. He's got the PS5. All right.
That thing came in last week, bro. The only thing y'all take me away from is gaming. That's the only thing y'all take me away from when y'all do these pop-ups. You just take into my gaming time.
Yeah, I feel because when I finish up early on the day, that's the first thing I go to. But yeah, for real, I appreciate you, Harlan, man. You always go up and above for this team, and we appreciate you, man. We're building something over here, and shoot, I appreciate all us, like, to have a team full of guys that are selfless, everybody sacrificing for each other. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And Richie, I know you were talking about the nonprofits. I wanted to shout out the National Cancer Center. I had a grandma when I was younger, she passed away from cancer, so that's something that's special to me. They just the research that goes into it. And I appreciate, hopefully they figure something out, because I just hate hearing that C word.
Yeah. And to you, my family is big proponents of that. We lost my father to cancer, a few years ago, and we've been big advocates. So definitely shout them out as well on Giving Tuesday. And everybody's lost someone to cancer, right? Like, no matter who you are, it's important. Give the money. We were talking with some of the boosters, but that stuff like this is so important, and they need the dollars, like Jimmy Valvano always said. So I co-sign you there, Freddie.
Oh man. All right. To take it back up a little bit. No, I mean, I completely agree, but I got to take it back up a little bit. I too have lost somebody to cancer, and, last
Giving
year,
Tuesday, it's okay to talk about this,
yeah. Last year with the podcast, I think we wrote a check for like $2,500 to St. Jude's. Long story short, this guy got online and said, like, if something would happen, he would donate a bunch of money to St. Jude's. And then I saw it, and like, if Florida State won a game or something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I saw it and he didn't do it. Like, he did. And so we got a bunch of people to retweet it and stuff.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember exactly, but I remember seeing that whole situation. Yeah.
But so people were donate FSU Twitter and Big Three Twitter is wild, but people were basically donating St. Jude's to like troll this guy.
But we all come together for good causes.
They'd give
to troll the guy and to help find a cure.
They'd give like 20. They'd give like $20, and then they'd tag him in it and be like, "Hey man, so we raised like $2,500."
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
Zach Smith up there at Ohio State was getting in on it and stuff, and a bunch of people. So anyway, so I get they all gave it to me, and then I wrote the check for it and sent it off. But because we did that, we I get the letters in the mail like every other day and stuff, and like they need it bad, so all of those organizations that handle that and work with that, like they definitely need your support, need your help. So Giving Tuesday, find something that you're passionate about, that you care about, whether it's Florida State boosters, whether it's given to a disease that you've lost somebody because of. Find something that you are passionate about. It could be Double Fries No Sauce Patreon, which is patreon.com/doublefriesnopod, or Double Fries Pod. If you're passionate about that, you can give there. Seminole Boosters, 850-644-1830. They messaged us the number while we were talking because they were tuning in live. 850-644-1830, SeminoleBoosters.com. Guys, this was a great episode. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got a chance to chat with Michael Alford. Glad we got our shout outs in. Glad we got football coming back in 2 weeks, and God, FSU Hoops is coming up tomorrow. Who had the song on Sunday? The other one of you guys can have it today.
Freddie had it. I'll take it this week. You know, it's Giving Tuesday. We talked about Seminole Boosters, giving to charities that you're passionate about. Give me Lil Wayne, Make It Rain. Make it rain on these charities, guys.